2, 1. Welcome to the Public Works Committee of the Metro Council. It is 3:15 on Monday, August the 3rd. And let's see, I think we will call the roll to start. So if you are a member of the Public Works Committee, if you would please click the raise hand button, and then I will kind of call your name to acknowledge presence. Council Lady Allen is present. Council Lady Benedict, are you present? Councilman Bradford is present. Okay. Council Lady Gamble is present. Councilman O'Connell is present. Councilman Nash, see you there. And so once you have been called present, if you will please lower your hand. Vice Chair Young, present. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Council Lady Evans, Councilman Hall, Councilwoman Hurt, or Councilman Roden. If you are present by another method and want to acknowledge or indicate present, you can unmute at this time to do so. Okay, all right. All right, detecting a quorum, we can get started. Vice Chair Young, could you do the special circumstances motion for us, please?
Sure, Madam Chair. If you could scroll down just a little bit on the screen. I will make a motion that pursuant to Governor Lee's Executive Order number 16, regarding electronic meetings as extended by Executive Orders number 34 and 51, I make a motion that this committee meeting agenda constitutes essential business of the Metropolitan Council and that the meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak.
Second.
Okay, so moved. Colleagues, we're going to try something a little bit different this time. If you are assumed to be in favor, unless on a particular vote you raise your hand to be acknowledged, and then I will clarify if that's a no or an abstention. So all in favor? Yes, who is seeking to be acknowledged, please? So again, we're not going to have to say aye with each vote this time, colleagues. We're going to change it up a little bit just for simplicity's sake and moving along. So you will be assumed to be voting aye unless you raise your hand to be acknowledged otherwise. Councilwoman Allen, you're recognized. Do you have a question about that?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. I know that some other committees have been doing this for a while, and I just would like to hear some legal counsel comment on the that does go by, that is according to Hoyle or Robert's rules. I've just would like to know for sure that not having the option to say aye is according to the rules. So is Mr. Cooper or Ms. Eichland?
Yes, I'm on here.
Okay.
I mean, so technically for bodies whose votes are actually binding, then there would need to be a roll call vote. And with the council, you know how we've been doing that, voice votes. And then if there are those who are voting no or abstaining, we are getting those marked on the record. I think for purposes of a committee that is making recommendations to the council, it's probably okay to do it that way. But if you want to have a yes vote, you're certainly welcome to do that.
Thanks. Okay. I mean, not necessarily. I just have seen other committees doing this and just wanted to be assured that it was constitutionally okay. So just wanted to make that official. Thank you.
And I appreciate that, Council Lady Allen. We had been conducting it as we were, and then I participated in a few more committees than I typically do last meeting. And I noticed that they were using a different method. And so, if colleagues are more comfortable kind of staying where we were, but then Mr. Cooper, I would just suggest by executive committee or to committee chairs, if you would just suggest kind of a preferred process, then we could all abide by it. So we're not doing different things in committee. So I apologize for not getting that clarified before start time, but okay. Let's move right on into the agenda, please. Colleagues, we do have some guests today from staff because we have a shorter agenda. There has been kind of a lot in the public works space of late. We have seen some constituent interaction related to summer water bills, Red River's trash pickup and that ongoing process, and then as well a complaint, a COVID-related complaint to TOSHA. And so we have to start Amanda Deaton-Moyer representing Metro Water to give us an update on the new tiered rate system that was effective January 1st. You will have received an email from Sonia Allman in your inbox. It's also in our OneDrive. That's just a little bit of an update for your newsletters and social media and otherwise if you're hearing from your constituents. But we just thought it would be a good time for Ms. Deaton-Moyer to give us an update from Metro Water. Ms. Deaton-Moyer is their Director of Finance. And with that, Ms. Deaton-Moyer, you are recognized.
Thank you, Council Lady Henderson. As she mentioned, there has been some concern raised about increased water bills as the hot summer continues, and it's notable that this is what happens in the summer. And we can relate, our customer service center has received a number of inquiries about these increased bills. And this is an excellent time to discuss our water rate structure. In January of 2020, we all will recall that the new water rate structure went into place, and it's an increasing tiered rate structure. And at each rate structure, or at each tier, the volumetric rate is charged at a higher unit than the previous ones. And the tiered rates are designed to promote conservation and to limit that indiscriminate use. Water is often considered cheap or a simple commodity, and this is a way to protect the resource. And it's important to note in this case that the first 2 CCF of water is included in the fixed charges, and that is what we call our lifeline rate, so that we can ensure that we're providing necessary water needs for all of our customers at a low cost. You may remember from our presentations during the water rate process, 69% of our customers actually use 7 CCF per month or less. Now that is all the bills all together. So 69% of all those bills are 7 CCF or less. And so they fall into the first 2 tiers. But in the summer, some people may use a little bit more water, and that pulls them into that next tier. So if you think about that, what is a CCF? A CCF is 748 gallons. Most people don't know that off the top of their head, but we know that at water. And a person can use, on average, between 56 and 88 gallons of water each day. And so that means a family of 4 could really use between 6,700 to 10,500 gallons in a month. And so that does put them into the 11 CCF category. So we've had some concerns about being in that category and water bills going up over that previous month. And it's really about that water use. It's about going outside and all of your irrigation and watering the plants and outdoor water play. For some context, a low flow shower head uses about 2 gallons a minute or 20 gallons in a 10-minute shower. So that's part of an average person's 88 gallons a day. And a regular shower head is about 25 gallons for 10 minutes. So if you've got teenagers at home, maybe you've got a 20-minute shower, so you're thinking 50 gallons a shower. As part of our summer discounts, and we call it a discount because it's how it works, we actually have a sprinkler adjustment. And all residential customers receive the monthly sprinkler adjustment, and it accounts for summer water use that does not return to the sewer. Sewer charges are calculated based on the amount of water used under most circumstances. However, during the summer months, you will use a little bit more. So when water is used to sprinkle lawns, wash cars, outdoor water play, we actually adjust those bills so you don't get charged the amount of water in your sewer bill. So there is a credit there. We use the winter quarterly average to determine what that sewer bill will be. You did receive the information from Sonia Allman in your email boxes. That is a pretty good summary of what I've just said, but really we were trying to do a good job of keeping everything out on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Nextdoor and every other outreach method we can possibly think of. You've got some of those graphics to show others if that's the best way to reach your constituents. And we're also happy to address any concerns that either you individually are experiencing, or our customer service team is well prepared to discuss these issues. You can look for some of this information on the front page of our website. But other than that, we are. This is how it was intended to work. However, we know that this is a little bit of when summer happens. This was a complaint that was expected to some extent, but we want to make sure that we are helping everyone with those questions.
Thank you so much, Ms. Deaton-Moyer. I appreciate that update. So colleagues, I reached out to Ms. Deaton-Moyer and Ms. Allman when I started seeing a lot of constituents hearing there's a lot going on Nextdoor, and I was getting a lot of emails in my inbox. And so they have also kindly, through our interaction, done some updates on their How to Read Your Bill PDF is a resource online that has been updated with information about the new tiered rates. And as Ms. Deaton-Moyer alluded to, I've asked them to put some more things out on social media. They made a post to Nextdoor, et cetera. So look for those resources, and let's, as a committee, please be especially mindful of resharing those to get those out in the public view. Okay, and with that, Ms. Deaton-Moyer does have some time for questions. Council Lady Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have been part of the conversation on Nextdoor, so I'm familiar with what people are most surprised by. One of the questions that I've gotten is from people who have larger meters that flat charge is significantly higher. And my understanding is that all these new rates were based on the study that was done to make sure that the rates actually paid for the piping and the water treatment and everything else and the manpower that it took to get those amounts of water to people. So could you explain just a little bit about the flat rate based on meter size and what that actually reflects? I mean, my assumption is it means if you've got a bigger meter, you have a bigger pipe, and that means that the whole system has to be bigger to be ready to give you a whole lot of water at once. And that we charge people for that all year long, whether they use that much water or not, just because we have to make the system bigger. Am I understanding that correctly?
Council Lady Allen, you're exactly right. We actually build in what it costs to maintain those larger meters and what it costs to replace those larger meters and all of the various machinery and capital it takes to keep them up. Another thing that's included in that is just what it takes, just the flat fees it takes to run everything at Metro Water. And it's part of our base fee that is actually spread out equally across all of the meter sizes. So think customer service or billing or things like that, that is just a fixed charge.
Okay, thank you. And then my final question, just because I would like the rest of the committee to be aware of a request that I have made that perhaps a year into having the new rates, we can have sort of a revisitation of the calculations that were done to say this is what it costs for each component. I know you sort of calculated residential and commercial separately, and I would like after we've been in this for a year to sort of look back if there is any normal operation and say, yes, we did. Everybody's paying for their own kind now, or no, actually we've overdone it and residential is now subsidizing the commercial, because I understand it was the other way around before. So would it be possible to come back to this committee or whoever's on it a year from now or a year from January and give us kind of a recap of that, the information that was in the study that led to the decisions for the rate increase?
Yes, ma'am.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, Ms. Deaton-Moyer, also in our Public Works Committee OneDrive is your 6-month report on water revenue in response to the new rates. And we appreciate you also at 1 year providing the same, and then some additional questions per Council Lady Allen's suggestion. Okay, colleagues, that is about 10 minutes on water there. But again, Ms. Deaton-Moyer, Mr. Honeysucker, Ms. Allman, if you have any additional questions for them. But as always, please point your constituents to Metro Water Customer Service. They have been briefed on all these updates. And so just like we push or rather encourage constituents to submit things from a data perspective to Hub. Likewise, please make sure they contact Metro Water so that Metro Water is hearing directly from constituents as well. Okay, thank you again, Metro Water. Okay, so now we're going to kind of segue into the public works space from a staff report perspective. Ms. Shanna Whitelaw, our interim director of Public Works, is here with us. But I also want to acknowledge, because there's so much under our Public Works umbrella, Council Lady Allen very kindly this year has taken on being the chair of our subcommittee for solid waste and recycling. And so I'm going to kind of turn it over to her for the question time on this. But colleagues, it is about 3:33. We've got a hard stop at 4. We took about 10 minutes for water, and we can do the same for Public Works. But Ms. Whitelaw, if you would just keep that in mind as you give your presentation. And with that, I turn it over to Subcommittee Chair, Council Lady Allen, and Ms. Whitelaw.
Thank you. And I'll just let Ms. Whitelaw jump in and talk about the issues that are front and center right now.
Thank you. First, I'll start with Red River. There was a community meeting last Thursday for the community down in the southeast portion of our service area related to solid waste and trash pickup. And it was a well-attended meeting and had a lot of good dialogue and a lot of good questions. Some things that have happened since the council met and the resolution was passed were a few things that have occurred. We're now meeting daily with Red River, having a daily conference call with them so that we can work as a team to figuring out how to solve our problem. I won't say happy because that's not the right word to say, but I will say that hopefully all routes were run on Saturday so that everyone's trash should have been picked up no later than mid-afternoon Saturday. Of course, there will always be misses and someone's cart didn't get out when it should have, or there was some problem maybe going down the street wrong or whatever. But Red River, with supplemental support from Public Works resources, was able to make all routes by Saturday. You might have also seen the press release that came out last week as well, showing that Public Works has taken over 2 routes that were in the expanded expanded when we expanded back in 2017, 2018. We had a separate contract with Red River that was bid, and they were the winner of that contract. And so we had a separate contract, worked with them. We are canceling that contract, and Public Works has taken over those 2 routes, which then allows for those Red River resources to be put toward the rest of the service area. So we are making progress as far as trying to meet the needs of our service area. On the next step is working toward the long-term solution, which is going to a 5-day plan. At the last meeting, there was a conversation regarding that. We are in talks with them, and we've been working back and forth with them regarding the 5-day plan and how to move forward. So on the last thing I'd like to say on Red River is, well, also because of the nature of the resolution and trying and moving forward, I'm working with our legal team to schedule individual meetings with the sponsors of the resolution so we can give you an update as individually so you know what's going on as we move forward through negotiations of what we think would be in a contract or everything like that. So please be on the lookout for that from legal team with us. I'll pause there for a minute to ask if anyone has any questions related to Red River and what's going on with solid waste at this moment, and then I'll move into the TOSHA letter we received. So anyone have any questions related to solid waste right now?
I don't see any hands raised at the moment, so I'll ask a couple and then go back and see if any other folks have thought of some questions.
Sure.
My first one is, I appreciate Public Works jumping in so quickly and making some substantive changes. My question is, where did we have the additional trucks and personnel to be able to pick up 2 routes? Is that going to be a stretch for us? For Public Works?
It turns out that it was related to, unfortunately, you'll remember back in the last budget season, we were not able to expand to twice monthly recycling. So we had some personnel opportunities with reallocation of resources when we thought we were going to go to twice monthly recycling, and then we're not able to do that. So that's where the resources came from.
Great. I see Councilmember Porterfield has her hand raised.
Thank you so very much, Councilwoman, for giving me this quick opportunity to speak. I just wanted to thank Interim Director for her hard work, and Sharon Smith and John Honeysucker and everyone that's been working on this. My community was picked up Friday and Saturday. They were pleasantly surprised, and this was the most peaceful weekend that I have had in many, many months. So I just wanted to tell you guys, thank you. I appreciate your hard work on this.
Thank you. We are going to continue with this kind of plan of teamwork and supplement as necessary until we can get the long-term plan resolved.
That's great. I have one more question, and then I'll see if anybody else has questions. I know that part of what Public Works is struggling with is trying to reshuffle the recycling pickups to also be 5 days a week. And my question would just be, have you done any surveys to determine if the constituents really feel like that is important to them? And I mean, is it additional cost to us? And if we could avoid cost by just keeping the recycling as it is, have we done any research to determine if that's even an option?
We haven't done any direct research or outreach, but by best practice and looking at what other communities similar to ours do, it's much easier and it makes it more convenient and we want to encourage recycling for a person to have their trash pickup day on the same day as their recycling day. So if someone's trying to remember, I'm the first Tuesday for recycling, but my pickup for trash is on Thursday, that can discourage people from really wanting to participate in recycling. So we haven't done any direct outreach in the community right now, but knowing how we want to encourage it in best practice is why we believe it's important for it all to be together in a 5-day plan.
Great. Okay. I appreciate that. I do not currently see any further questions on Red River. So if you want to move on to the TOSHA letter, we'd appreciate that. I'll hand it back to Councilmember Henry.
Thank you, Council Lady and Ms. Whitewall. Yeah, if you will just segue right into the TOSHA letter, and if you would just, colleagues, the letter from TOSHA, Public Works response, and then TOSHA's response again is in our Public Works Committee OneDrive for your reference. But I asked Ms. Whitelaw if she would please just summarize that as well as Public Works response and take some questions as well. So Ms. Whitelaw, it is 3:40. We've got a hard stop at 4. So, 2 or 3 minutes to summarize, and then I think we'll just go straight to questions, please.
Thank you, Chair. In summary, on July 21st, we received at Public Works a letter from TOSHA that detailed 8 complaints that were anonymously made regarding employee safety and in practices related to coronavirus and COVID-19. We responded within 5 days, working days. Our letter went out July 28th back to TOSHA. It's a 77-page letter, which is, I believe, why it's on the share drive, identifying and detailing our response to each of the 8 complaints and how we are working and striving always to protect and keep our employees as safe as possible through all mechanisms that we can. We received a letter back from TOSHA on July 29th, which indicated that they had reviewed the material and they considered the case closed. Of course, the complainant will have an opportunity to review it, and if they feel as if there's something they want to bring forth differently, then TOSHA reserves the right to open up the inquiry again. So I don't know if everyone has had an opportunity to read it or has seen the article in the newspaper, but I'm more than happy to answer as I can any questions that you may have.
Ms. Whitelaw, could you just share what the claim that was asserted, and then as well, so there's your response, but also can you share, proactively what you are doing to address that employee's concern, and then just more generally for our public works staff, just best practice in the time of COVID. That's something we had discussed in this committee, maybe in March or April at the first time, but as this is a novel virus and we're learning more, and we discussed in our COVID weekly call with council, just the guidance that departments and HR departments are receiving as to testing and quarantine and kind of what best practices. So if you could, just for purposes of this discussion, share, kind of what the complaint was, but also proactively how you're responding to that. So you've responded with the letter that colleagues can see, but just more generally being proactive in response to the concern.
Sure. So generally speaking, the complaint addressed employees feeling unsafe in the sense that if an employee, a coworker went to get a COVID test, that then the coworker was coming back to work before they got their test results, and that put the complainant potentially at risk, and other things relative to supervisors telling employees that they couldn't talk about things and that they would be in risk of being fired or risk of disciplinary if they discuss things. Our response was generally we are following all the guidelines that are put out by CDC. We're working with Metro Health Department and Metro HR to follow all the guidelines that are being provided through both of those departments. Specifically, we are open. Roll call is now an open out in the field, shortened, staggered schedules with employees. Everyone is wearing a mask. Everyone is maintaining socially distance as best they can, particularly during roll call and whenever in trucks. We are making sure that all employees are wearing trucks when they absolutely cannot. Avoid sharing a vehicle. We've put up some plastic barriers in the garbage trucks to try and protect people from that. We're encouraging all employees to notify their supervisor if they do have a COVID test. And as available and as possible, we are asking them to quarantine until they get their test results so we can move forward. Sometimes, because we're essential workers and depending on what's happened, that can be a challenge to have someone take a test and then not come back. We're doing the best we can to make sure that's available. If not, we are isolating that person in that group in wearing masks and making sure that they're riding separate or they're doing the best they can to avoid. Our goal is for someone to stay quarantined until they have their test results and we can move forward. Once we find someone who's had a test result of a positive, and even before that, even if they had a test result and there is a chance that somebody could have been exposed to them, we're asking those employees and notifying those employees of the potential exposure and asking them to go get a test as well. So we are trying to go beyond. Our goal is to let employees know that we care about them, that this is not just a mandate, although it is about their safety, it is about their family safety, and it is about their coworkers' safety. So we are pushing the value of our employees and how important it is to wear a mask and social distancing. We're checking with them regularly. We're communicating directly when we need to with those who have tested positive to make sure that they're okay. And when negatives come back, we put them back in and remind folks. But one of the complaints was about not being notified. Well, by HIPAA rules and by all other guidelines, we can't share that with employees. So I think that becomes a problem. So we're trying to make sure we educate employees on why we can't just say this person did this on this day and that we have to protect privacy. So that's been one of the challenges of explaining that to our employees, and we're working toward that.
Okay, colleagues, committee members, do you have any questions for Ms. Whitelaw about the TOSHA letter and response, or just generally about COVID safety for our Public Works staff? If so, please use the raise hand button. I know as well that Ms. Whitelaw would welcome you, once you've reviewed the material in the OneDrive folder, to be in touch with her. And you can run that kind of through me or J.O.N. Cooper if we want to consolidate some questions for Ms. Whitelaw. But I am, let's see, Ms. Any other? Okay, Ms. Porterfield, Councilwoman Porterfield, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Director Whitelaw, for sharing this information. I did not get to read through the full 77 pages before this meeting today, but I will definitely follow up with more questions once I've read through it, because I did have some concerns about this. One question that I did have was, I understand that due to the nature of the work, it may not be. We may not have the opportunity for people to isolate or quarantine for 14 days. Is there an opportunity for the department to maybe pay for a rapid test if a person has been exposed within the department? If they go and have a rapid test done, maybe they can get reimbursed for that test so that they'll know, within, I think they're within an hour or so that they will know if they actually are testing positive, so that they don't possibly exposing other employees as opposed to, risking them not being able to really quarantine for that 14-day period.
Thank you, Council Member, for the question. I will have to communicate and coordinate with Public Health and with Central HR on availability and our availability to do rapid tests. What we are working toward is trying very hard to see if we can modify resources and reallocate and work around so that the person can stay quarantined until they do get their test results. And we've been hopeful, and we have seen some improvement in how long it's taking for tests, that it's not as long as 7 to 14 days to get your test results back. So we're working toward that goal, but I will have to check in with Central HR and with the Public Health Department regarding that availability.
Thank you. And then I just have one more question with regards to the mask that Public Works employees are wearing. It has been, there have been some concerns that some of the employees are just using rags over their faces, and that there were 1 or 2 masks that were passed out in March, but that they've not received any additional masks from Public Works, and that, that's hearsay. So I just wanted to address it directly to see if we have it in writing somewhere that they have to wear an actual mask, and if any masks are currently being provided to employees.
Yes, we have asked all employees, and we have handed out masks to all employees, and we have communicated to them that there are additional masks. We recognize that in the nature of the work that they do, they can get sweaty, they can get wet, they can get messy. And so we have availability for masks. No employee should feel as though they have to have a mask that they have to provide themselves. We've provided a minimum of 1, and in some cases, multiple masks to our employees. So we encourage them to ask. If they don't have one, supervisors carry them with them in their vehicles, and we have a stock. In fact, we ordered some just recently to continue make sure we have plenty of masks as this is going on.
I appreciate that, Ms. Whitelaw. And thank you, Councilor Porterfield, for bringing this to council's attention last week, and I appreciate your engagement on this. Councilor Gamble, we are kind of at our threshold here. We need to get into our regular agenda, but if you do have a brief question that hasn't been addressed yet, you're welcome to pose it here, with perhaps Ms. Whitelaw being able to follow up with you later. So Councilor Gamble, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. It's a quick question. Hopefully won't require any additional information later. I couldn't remember in that complaint from Tosha if the 8 complaints were specific to just Public Works. And if so, or if not, will the response that you are doing for Public Works also apply to Metro Water?
The complaints were specific to Public Works, and I will defer to my colleagues for Water Services as to whether they would apply there. Generally speaking, all departments are following public health and central HR and CDC guidelines.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Gamble, and thank you so much, Ms. Whitelaw, Interim Director Whitelaw. We appreciate your leadership, and thank you for being here today. And with that, colleagues, we're just going to move into our agenda so that we can wrap this up by 4. Okay, so moving into resolutions, RS 2020-450, Druffel, Mendez, and others approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and Metro Department of Public Works for the reimbursement of railroad crossing safety improvements at Post Road Railroad Crossing. We have a letter from Councilman Druffel requesting a 1 meeting deferral because we kind of raised some pedestrian accessibility issues at this crossing. And I know he's been engaged with staff and Mr. Hammond. Do I have a motion for a 1 meeting deferral?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Seeing none. Okay, all righty. So you recommend a 1 meeting deferral. Okay, RS 2020-469, Sledge, Murphy, and Henderson, amends ordinance BL 2020-163 to authorize the Metro government to abandon additional easement rights for property located at 1131 4th Avenue South. So our agenda says that we have a letter to approve from Councilman Sledge, but he has said subsequently that he wanted to give this a closer look. So he has contacted council office to request a 1 meeting deferral. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, on the deferral, staff, is there anything that needs to be shared on that? I know Councilman Sledge was familiar that this was a mixed-use development, but because it was a transit corridor and we had a pretty constrained right-of-way, some sidewalks with phone poles in them and so forth, I think he just wanted to hear back from staff specifically what this means. And so the motion before us is a 1 meeting deferral. So I think with that, I would just ask if staff to please follow up with Councilman Sledge. Can someone please unmute to acknowledge they will do so? Okay, staff. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, we have a motion and a second for a 1 meeting deferral. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, colleagues, I apologize if I was unclear. I know we're kind of going back and forth on that. We are going to return to our regular style of expressing an aye and then raising a hand for an abstention or a no vote. I apologize. We kind of went back and forth on that. Okay, so thank you. And seeing no votes or abstentions, we move into the next item on the agenda. RS 2020-470, O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson authorizes Oliver McMillan Spectrum Emery LLC to construct and install an aerial encroachment at 500 Broadway. Councilman O'Connell, I will defer to you for what motion you would like on this, please.
Move approval.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. I was just going to ask staff briefly, or Councilman O'Connell. I know, 500 Broadway has had a fair amount of scrutiny around signage, whether for Broadway or for Fifth in the vicinity of the Ryman, and where the African American History Museum entrance would be, to the front, to the side, the corner, and so on and so forth. And so, Councilman O'Connell, I know you're mindful of all those concerns. I didn't know if there was anything in particular you wanted to share about this signage, just given the community interest in this particular property.
Yeah, this one is just for a single encroachment that I believe is fully consistent with every aspect of the DTC signage ordinance.
Okay. All right, colleagues, any other questions on this one? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none, okay, we move on to RS 2020-471, Welsh, Johnson, and others approves Amendment 1 to an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation, Metro Public Works for intersection improvements on Nolensville Pike from McNally Drive to Natchez Court. We have a letter to approve from Councilmember Welsh. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Seeing no nays or abstentions, you recommend approval. All right, moving into bills on second reading. BL 2020-381, Mendez, Henderson, and Toombs authorizes the Metro Department of Water and Sewerage Services to enter into an agreement with Great Tennessee Land Co. for the operation and maintenance of a public pressure sewer extension and acceptance of associated easements for development of the Darcy subdivision in, interestingly, Williamson County. There is a letter from Councilman Mendez to approve. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Okay. Is there anybody here from water staff that can just explain to us quickly, Mr. Honeysucker, I see you there. You're recognized. And yes, sir, go ahead.
Oh, Councilman, I have Tony Newmeyer on the call that will be speaking on behalf of Metro Water.
Okay, Mr. Newmeyer, you're recognized. If you could just give us a 1 minute elevator speech of how this works. Please, sir.
Is he on there? If not, Amanda Moore, you can speak on that, please.
Ms. Deaton-Moyer, you're recognized. Can you speak to this operation and maintenance extension and so forth of how this works for this subdivision in Williamson County, please?
Yes, ma'am. This is a situation where we will take on the developer will build the pump station and develop it all, and we will take it on with the agreement that they'll give us the dollars for perpetual maintenance.
Okay, so from a fiscal perspective, we are being paid to maintain something that they are building, even though the water, I mean, is it to the benefit of anything in Davidson County, or just is situated, I assume, near the county line for this, but
It is to the benefit of our system that we perpetually maintain it, and we'll take it on as they'll be our customers, and we will want to, we wouldn't want to take on something that we couldn't, and it couldn't maintain right away. So this is where they give us the dollars to do so.
Okay. Okay. Council Lady Allen, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. Thank you. So is that $149,000 roughly payment a one-time payment, or is that an annual payment?
It's a one-time payment.
Gotcha. And so what is the operation and maintenance that's required? I'm assuming those pumps require electricity on a regular basis and other stuff. And how big are those pumps? Is there someone that can answer those questions?
I can answer it generally.
Great.
Well, so yes, electricity as well as water to the pumps, but also it's the chemicals and it's the maintenance. And when I say maintenance, I mean the electricians and the electronics and all the different types of things that keep a pump running.
Gotcha. And how big are the pumps?
That I don't know off the top of my head, but I can find that out for you right away.
Okay. That would be great. Just horsepower. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, that's all my question.
I appreciate that question, Council Lady Allen. And I think to Council Lady Allen's point, I think when we do these infrastructure participation agreements, I know we all feel like, our participation is maintaining this in perpetuity, right? And so with the one-time payment versus ongoing, to Council Lady Allen's point, electricity, chemicals, is that some math that you can show us? I mean, I would assume, but if that's perhaps something, I guess that will probably be before Budget and Finance Committee. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. And that is math we can show you.
Okay, that's great. So I think for us in the public works side, I just want to know that if by participating in this is beneficial to our system. And so we'll kind of take it from the operational side. And then, in Budget and Finance, Council Lady Allen or others, if you have questions more particular to the fiscal side of this and the arrangement, let's encourage colleagues to take it up there. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve. Seeing no other questions, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? Okay, seeing none, you recommend approval. Okay, and BL 2020-382, O'Connell, Mendez, and others, authorizes the Metro Department of Water and Sewerage Services to enter into an agreement with Nashville PropCo LLC to provide improved public sanitary sewer service through the construction of an improved stormwater system for both its proposed development as well as the existing properties in the area. This is the last item on our agenda. Councilman Mendez has a letter to approve. Do I have a motion? Okay, is there any discussion or questions? Mr. Cooper, I see that you have your hand raised. Are you wishing to be recognized, particularly to this item?
Well, it's actually after this item. It was about 2 more members who had joined before we started voting on anything.
Oh, okay, yes. At the close of the meeting, I will put it over to you to acknowledge their presence publicly. Are there any questions particular to this agreement for this BL 382? Councilman O'Connell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would appreciate staff just kind of giving an overview of this in terms of, again, being a participation agreement.
Ms. Deaton-Moyer, could you speak similarly to this participation agreement?
Yes, ma'am. This is a little bit different. This is actually a stormwater participation agreement where we'll be receiving this money in preparation for a larger project down the road. And this will help us separate sanitary sewer from the stormwater sewer in the Germantown area.
In the Germantown area you indicated?
I believe so.
Okay. Councilman O'Connell, do you have any further questions for staff about this in your district?
No, I just wanted colleagues to understand the nature of it. So I appreciate that. Thanks.
I appreciate that. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed or abstaining? Seeing none. Councilman O'Connell, that's from before. It's okay. Mr. Cooper, you are recognized to state the additional members of the Public Works Committee that were present here today.
Thank you, Chair. Council members Roden and Benedict were in the meeting before we started voting on anything. So all votes are 9 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, thank you so much to all members for being present. And with that, this concludes the meeting of the Public Works Committee.
Madam Chair, real quickly.
Yes, sir. Mr.
Before
O'Connell.
we go, could I ask that maybe, I know scheduling has been tough for these, but in an upcoming meeting, could we include during staff time an opportunity to just get a little more information about the ongoing transition of departmental responsibilities, as well as any planning process that's underway for the Department of Transportation?
Absolutely, sir. We'll ask for Ms. Whitelaw to give us a more general update on her listening and her engagement in the department and how they're working towards recommendations and moving forward. I appreciate that. Okay. With that, we've got budget and finance needing to get started. I see Councilman Mendez oddly with his hand raised. No, he doesn't have it. Okay. With that, Public Works Committee is concluded. Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.go.